Well, hello and welcome to Valkenswaard as we get underway with the big day here. It is the second round of the Global Champions League and the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix as well. Joining me in the studio is a man who's going to feature in a lot of that because he currently leads the series championship, is Harrie Smolders. Harrie, lovely to see you here in the Netherlands for once.
Yeah.
Now, competing here, I mean, this is a little bit of a home leg for you as well.
Yeah, I'm live very close in this area, so a lot of people that comes here to watch are familiar with us. So hopefully we can do the best today.
Extra pressure, or does that actually help you along a little bit?
No, like this show also counts the same like all the other shows. So in that case, it's not a difference. But for sure, for your home people, you always want to do something extra.
And in terms of you as a rider, I mean, we saw last week, we've got Scott Brash winning on home turf in London, you this week here in the Netherlands. Is it a distraction at all because you've got so many people involved? Is it that little bit harder to keep the focus?
I think once you're in the ring, you have to be in the right focus and don't get distracted by other things. But like what you see last week is that like Scott and Ben, they really wanted to win. They didn't want to be second, or it was winning or losing, but nothing in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, your turn today, because we're going to actually reflect on yesterday a little bit first. We're taking a look at the round yesterday with Capital Colnado. Now, I mean, you're making the change to Emerald today, but this horse, I mean, there's both you and Audrey have been riding this. Talk us through a little of yesterday's round.
Yeah, Capital Colnado is a great horse, owned by Copernicus Stables. Ridden by my student Audrey Coulter before, and it's a horse with a lot of ability. It's only our third show together, but he's doing phenomenal things.
And Audrey's ridden him very successfully in the early part of the year. I mean, again, has been a clear round machine.
Yeah, it's a great horse. He's 12 years old now. He starts to understand the game. And I think when we can be a little longer together, that we also can make the difference in the GCTs.
And in terms of going forward, I mean, in terms of the horses you've got right now, I mean, you've got the best string you've ever had.
Yeah, definitely. I've two top horses in Emerald and Don. I think Colnado will also join them. So then I have three top horses at this moment, and that's not many people have that. Okay, it's also a work from the last 10 years. Don't forget that, to get in this situation with the right people around me, with the right horses, with the right age, the right experience. Before I always worked for a dealing stable, so the time when we were there, the horses were sold. Yeah. But now I'm in a luxury position that we can keep them and also do the sport.
And the difference, I mean, a lot of the differences come in the sport as well in terms of the raising of prize money in things like the Longines Global Champions Tour, that it makes it worth hanging on to the horses, and that temptation to sell a horse or move on isn't so much there anymore.
Yeah, okay, but on the other hand, it also makes the prices of the horses higher. The emotional value gets also higher. But now, like with Emerald, he besides his sport career, he also has really good with breeding.
Yeah.
So there is no must to sell him. And then with Copernicus behind us, with Don and Colnado, then we are in a luxury position.
Well, in a very good position indeed. A few shots of yesterday. Now, you teamed up with Jos Verlooy. You'll do the same again today. You mentioned Emerald there. I mean, Emerald is the sire of Igor that he rides as well, or did yesterday.
Yeah. I think Jos's horse Igor is a very talented horse. He's still unexperienced, but a lot of quality. He's a similar quality like his father.
Well, it's certainly good to see the next generation coming together. And you yourself, I mean, the two of you have a good working relationship as well as a friend's relationship as well. You're all based obviously in the same spot.
Yeah, we help each other a lot, and I know exactly his horses and what they need. So during the week I see them, and then we discuss and manage how we're going to do it.
Well, not always an easy day yesterday for some. Valkenswaard United, of course, are your closest rivals here, one of your closest rivals here, but in terms of the championship race, I mean, they're sitting one fence behind after yesterday's competition. You're leading on the clear, so they're one fence back from you. Are you thinking about them at all, or what's the plan?
No, we are focusing on ourselves because we cannot focus on others because we have no influence on their results. So we try to do our best. We focus on our horses. We try to manage that as best as possible. And we don't let our distraction go to the other teams.
Keep it in your bubble. Absolutely. Well, we're going to have a little look at some of yesterday's action in just a moment's time, but we're going to take a breather for just a second. Join us after the break. Well, welcome back to Valkenswaard, and in the studio with me, Harrie Smolders, the man of the moment of the Longines Global Champions Tour and Global Champions League right now. And one of the reasons, Harrie, we talked about your consistency with the horses, but we actually have been working out a few of the stats of how that stacks up. So let's have a little look at that. We've been comparing you and looking through the clear rounds you've been jumping. You and Scott Brash have been producing some of the best group of clears so far. Up to this week, 67% clear. That's not a bad average, is it, from that point of view?
That's not so bad, no.
That's not so bad. You'll take that one. And in great company there with Scott. But there you see, I mean, you've talked about the consistency through the year and how important that is. And I mean, you're making changes today. We're going to talk about horse changes in just a minute. But you've made 2 changes here, both you and Jos are changing horses for today's competition.
Yeah, it's the first time we use this tactic actually. We have to see how it works out, but Emerald did quite a few shows the last couple of weeks, and that's why I chose yesterday for Capital Colnardo. Jos said yesterday Igor is still a little bit a green horse, so we don't know if he can keep that up day after day.
Yeah.
And that's why we choose for the experience today.
Well, 2 very good horses coming in there in Emerald and Caracas. But for 1 or 2 yesterday, it was not easy going because the poles are falling all over the place. Have a little look at this of what was not the easiest day at the office for some. Well, tough stuff, and no doubt today will be little different to that. But the overall championship race, well, Harrie, I mean, it's been kept very close. We've already mentioned the home team, Valkenswaard United at the top. They're leading you in the Hamburg Diamonds, but by just 3 points. Mexico Amigos closest. But when you consider Valkenswaard United, again, are fielding Marcus Senning and Alberto Zorzi, you're not going to have an easy job, are you?
No, it's very hard to beat those guys. They are top professionals. They know what they are doing. They're bringing also the best horses every time. So it's again like last year a very close battle between United and the Diamonds. But it's I hope it keep exciting till the end.
Last year it was Valkenswaard United that just came out on top, but they've got a very differently shaped team to the one of last year. You've kept more or less within your parameters.
Yeah, we added John Whittaker and Eric Lamas, so they are very valuable for us. And hopefully it works out till the end.
Well, we'll see how it works out at the end, but we'll keep it very close. Now, today you're going in with the clears, but you mentioned there we've already made some changes. We're going to have a look at a few of the changes for today's competition as well, because we know there's been rider changes and horse changes right the way through. Rider changes, those are the numbers that have been going through the competition so far. Now, interestingly, here, Harrie, only 2 teams have changed their rider for today's competition. Now, earlier on in the season, there was a lot more moving around. This one, there's not much at all.
Yeah, I must say that we also have been quite successful if the horses are jumping well and the riders are in a good shape to not change the winning team.
Yeah.
Let's say that. And but for this weekend we choose another option, and let's see if it works out.
Absolutely. Well, horse changes have come into play as well, because that's another of the tactics that's entirely possible here. You've already mentioned some horse changes that you're making. 15 horse changes in today's competition, which is quite a high number as well. We can see how that's figured out between the competitions we've seen so far. And that's quite a high number compared to some of those we've seen earlier on. Chantilly was the highest number there, a pretty similar number there, and London. But it's interesting that late on into the season they've been making more and more horse changes.
Yeah, because I think the intensity of all the shows in the summer, and then the riders also feel that they have to slow down a little bit with some horses, and then that's why I think more and more people start to pick the classes.
And you think as well that the riders are now at the point of you've got used to this system during the year now. You're starting to see exactly what you're doing tactically, how you can play this.
Yeah, definitely, and sometimes you want to save the horse in a small class to be good today, and the opposite way.
Okay, well, good luck to the Hamburg Diamonds. It is the home team Valkenswaard United that top the table at the moment. We'll see what happens at the end of today, but they're close on your tail with just one fence in it. So we will see what happens here in Valkenswaard, but it's going to be very much on a knife edge all the way. Hamburg Diamonds ahead on a clear, but we've got a whole group of other teams that are very much biting at their tail. The easiest way to find out what happens is to follow us all the way through. Join us for that.